Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Tea Time with Tiff. I'm so glad you guys can come back and join me for another video. And you know, if you're not a part of the Tea Time fam, you know, just go ahead and click subscribe and just like, comment, you know, let me know what's up, what's tea, what's popping down in the comments. I'm so glad y'all are back for another video. So today I'm going to be telling you about the dreaded Nclex. Dun dun dun. Yes, I'm going to be telling you all the tea and the truth about the Nclex. So if you would like to hear me talk about the Nclex, please keep on watching this video. So let me just give you some backstory, rewind. So I graduated nursing school in December, and the time we graduated, we didn't have our ATT, which is the authorization to test, because they have to wait until you graduate to make sure that you actually graduated. So they have to wait until your graduation day, which another story, my school, nursing school I went to, there's only one graduation once a year. So I actually walk the stage in April, but I graduated in December. So we didn't have our ATT yet. So I went home, I got home like December 18th, 19th, or something like that. And so my mom was like, okay, take a couple days off and rest and don't start studying yet. But then she was like, okay, after 2 days, like, you need to get studying. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to study, because I mean, I just went through 16 months of studying every single day of my life. I was like, oh, I'm so tired of studying. I'm so over it. But I was like, okay. So I took a couple days off, and then my classmates, you know, they were like using UWorld and Hearst, and I was like, I don't really know if I want to do that. And so I was looking up books online to see like which study guide books would be the best. And so I found out about Saunders. So I went to Barnes & Noble to get the Saunders book, and this was like just such a miracle and a blessing, just so awesome. The Saunders book was like behind the counter, the cash register, so I was like up there looking at the book, looking through it to see if I wanted to buy it or whatever. And so the cashier lady came up to me, she was like, oh, like, when you're done looking at it, someone wants to buy the book for you. But in my mind, like, I didn't really hear what she said or really understand what she said. I thought she was saying that like someone in line wants, because I was looking at 2 different books, so I thought she was saying like, oh, whichever book you don't want, like, someone wants to buy it. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, what? Like, why? There are other books here, like, why she gotta have the one I'm looking at? Like, I was like mad in my mind. But then God got me correct and allowed me to hear it correctly, and she was like, oh no, someone wants to buy the book for you. And so I turned to my left, and this lady was like, oh, hi. So I went over there. I was like, oh my gosh, like, first off, this is a little bit childish, but I was like, there was one book that was like $40, and this book was like $65. So I was like, of course I'm gonna make her buy the most expensive one, like, of course. So that's why I got the Saunders. It was the most expensive, and it was on somebody else's dime. So I was like, okay, yes. So I went over there, and she was like, oh, I'm like a nurse. She was like, I'm a fellow nurse, so of course I want to help out a nurse. She's like, I've been wanting to buy somebody something for Christmas. And she was like, of course, why not help out a fellow nurse? And she was like, yeah. She was like, the Nclex is really not that bad. Like, if you made it through nursing school, like, you can do it. And she was like, I'm a nurse practitioner. She was like, I'm just about to take my test. She was an ER nurse for like 8 years or something. So I was like, oh, this is like God. This is such a sign. This is such a blessing. Like, so, like, no one has ever like bought anything for me. Like, you know, people get their Starbucks bought for them. That has never happened to me a day in my life. So I was like, that was just so nice and such a blessing. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Yes, God, this is a sign. I can do this. I got this. So this is the book I got. This is the Saunders book, and look how big. Look, it's so heavy, girl. It can knock somebody out. Look how big it is. Yes, we're gonna dive into this book and get into it in a second. But yes, okay, so basically like December 20th is when I started studying. Still hadn't had my ATT authorization to test. Still had not set up my actual Nclex date and time yet. So I was studying, and by golly, it was so hard to study. Like, oh, you're just so drained and so tired and so over it. But, you know, I would study, I would read. I didn't have any like practice question like UWorld, Hearst, Kaplan type questions at this time yet. I just had this book, and this book comes with practice questions inside the book, and comes with a practice test at the end, and it also comes with like online bank of like a billion jillion questions. So I would, you know, at first I was kind of lazy, so I was like, oh, I'll read some, do some questions, blah 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 blah. But one thing about this Saunders book, it is super specific. Like, be like, why do I need to know that? Like, what? You'll just be like, what? The most little tiniest detail. You're like, do I really need to know this? Like, are they really gonna ask me this? But this book is very specific, and the questions are also very specific. Well, in the chapters, those questions are specific. The practice questions, like outside of the book online, those aren't as specific, but the practice questions in the book are definitely very specific, tailor-made to exactly what you just read, up to the littlest detail. So you can decide if you want to be very specific, but I'll tell you later on about the actual test if you need to be specific. So I would study hours a day. Hours a day. I would wake up, and I'm not really like a study in the morning type of person. I just be tired, so I just don't be doing that. So I wake up and I would like eat breakfast, like lounge around, watch a show, whatever. And then I would get to studying later, like to noon, 1, whatever, and I'd be studying until like let me be real, okay? Studying puts me to sleep. So I literally study and I get sleepy. It puts me to sleep. So I would take naps every single day. I was not playing games with these people. Like, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna get my Z's, okay, honey? So I'd be studying, and like around 2, 3, I'd be like, girl, I'm sad. So I would go to sleep, and I would take a nap, and then I'd get back up, and I would study again till like 5 or dinner time. And then after dinner, I maybe watch a show, and then like later on at night, like 11 or 12, 10 or 11, I would like finish up what I wanted to finish up for the day if I hadn't already done so. So that was me, you know, studying. I would study every day, but I wasn't like like intense studying. So we got our ATT. I'm really not sure when. I'm guessing it was the beginning of like January we got our ATT, and it was like coming in waves. So like classmates of mine would get theirs, and I'd be like, oh, I haven't got mine yet. Like, what is the tea? So I felt like I was like one of the last ones, or that's what I felt like. I don't know if that's true, but I like waves of students kept getting them, like, and I was like, what? So I was really about to call the board of nursing and be like, who do I need to fight? Like, what is the tea? So like, there could have been something wrong with my application, or just something that went wrong in the process that was causing me to not get my ATT. And I'm like, well, I need to know so I can fix it, because y'all playing with my game, y'all playing with my money, you're playing with my money and my time. Like, no, who do I need to fight? So I was really about to call them, but then the Lord sent me a gift, and I got an email from my ATT. And so I was like, oh gosh, it's kind of late, so I wonder if like the spots were filled. So I was taking my test in Austin, and luckily there was like plenty of dates and times available. So this was like beginning of January, like first week of January. And so I was like, oh, like I'm not ready, like I'm nowhere near ready, like I need so many more weeks, I need so much more time to study. So I put mine for January. Was it January 30th? January 30th? Let's go check the receipts. When did I take that dreaded exam? Oh, okay. I took it January 31st, which is a Wednesday. So I scheduled it for then, because this was like the first week of January. So I was like, I'm nowhere near ready. Like I don't know anything. I need to study so much more. And so I was like freaking out. Literally that day I got my ATT, I was panicking. I was freaking out. I was like, I gotta really start studying. Like I can't be playing around with my studies anymore. Like I gotta get it. I gotta hit it. So I started hitting it a lot harder. I was really reading the book, like for real. And it's a very long book. And it's just so much information. Your brain is like, what? Bitch, what? You want me to remember what? You want me to do what? With who? And where? No. So it was doing the most, and I was doing the most. Like 6+ hours a day, every day, all day, no games to be played. And I was just like, okay, going through every day, like, okay, doing the practice. Oh, okay, so sorry. So I think I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get like UWorld January 1st. I'm gonna get it January 1st because that's when I'm really gonna get serious and start hitting it. Well, I didn't. Me being me, I didn't. I say a lot of things in my head that I'm going to do, but then my body doesn't do them. So I didn't. And then when I went to get it, finally, I think that day that I got the APT, I was like, okay, this ain't a game. So I went to go sign up for the UWorld, and like I looked at it like in December, the price to get it, and it was like $79.99. Girl, this thing had jumped up to $100. I was like, see, God, that's my punishment, because I wasn't serious before. I should have gotten it back when it was $79.99, but now it's $100. And I'm like, well, shoot, I sure will pay the $100. Here's my credit card information. Snatched it out of my bank account, because I was like, well, I need to do this. Like $100 compared to my career and the rest of my life, like that's nothing. I will pay the $100 gladly. So I did, and so I started hitting the UWorld, doing my UWorld. I didn't get the expensive package with the 2 tests that tell you like, oh, this is like, give you 75 questions, and like, okay, this is your, you know, you're gonna pass for sure, you're not gonna pass, blah blah. I didn't get that because I was like, I ain't gonna shell out $300 when the test was already $300. So I was like, I just got the basic package, which gives you the Q bank with the questions. So I was like, okay, that's good enough, I can do that. So I started doing 40 questions a day, because 40 questions will take you so long, because you have to read the rationales for the answers for each question. You have to read the rationales and the explanation. So it may take you an hour and a half to answer 40 questions per se, but I would do it on study mode. I didn't do it on self-timer, because I'm like, nah, I don't care about the time, because I got 6 hours, whatever. So I didn't do it on like test mode or self-timer mode, where you just answer the questions and you get your answers and results at the end. I just did study mode so I could go through each time and like read the explanation. So answering the questions may take you an hour and a half, but reading those explanations, it's like it'll take you 3 or 4 hours just to read and digest and get all that information. So that's why I only did 40 questions. So I'm like, 75 questions, I'll be taking 4 or 5 hours just on a test, when I need to be getting the information as well, reading it. So I didn't do, I would just do 40 questions a day, which, you know, some people are like, oh, that's not enough, or oh, that's too many, you know, I don't know. That's just what I was doing, and it would still take up quite a bit of my time to do those questions. But me, because you can do UWorld, there's an app, so you can do it on your phone, honey. So I'll be in my bed on the phone doing those questions. And I wish, I'm gonna try to open up the app, but my subscription ended, so I don't know. What is this? Girl, bye. Okay. Oh. Okay. It's not gonna let me because my subscription ended. But, and I couldn't, you can't screenshot on there, because like I wasn't trying to screenshot like answers. Like it was like an explanation that I screenshot, and they were like sending a message like, oh, you can't screenshot. If you do this again, your subscription is gonna be terminated. But I was just trying to screenshot explanation of a question. But anyways, it's set up exactly like the actual Nclex. I don't know how the folks over at UWorld are getting this done and how they're allowed to do this, honey, but they really snatched the setup from the Nclex. Like the way it looks, the colors and everything, it looks exactly like Nclex. So that's why I wanted to get UWorld, because my friend was like, oh, UWorld, it looks just like the Nclex, and I wanted to make sure I could, you know, experience it and see an example of how it looks. So on the test day, I wouldn't be caught off guard or surprised by the way anything looked. I wanted to be very prepared, know what it's gonna look like, how it's gonna move, how to navigate, and all that stuff like that. So I was like, okay, let me do UWorld because it looks like the Nclex. She said it just looks just like it. So that's why I got UWorld, and the UWorld was great. UWorld was amazing. A lot of select all the apply questions, which is what, you know, you need to practice. It's very, very good to practice these questions. And the I thought the test questions were, you know, definitely tricky, definitely makes your mind critically think. but it wasn't impossible. It obviously definitely was not impossible. And the way they had UWorld broken up, for at least the package that I purchased, it would have like adult, med surge, pediatrics, like OB, psych, and then within those broad subjects and categories, it would have like cardio, respiratory, renal, and stuff like that. It would have it broken down like very specific categories inside the big topics of like med surge, adult, PD, stuff like that. I never took the individual like broken down tests, like cardiac tests. I didn't do that because I was like, the Nclex is just going to be a mosh posh hodgepodge of like everything thrown into one. So I was like, I don't really need to specifically focus on cardio, because cardiac, why am I saying cardio? Why am I saying cardio? Maybe because I need to do some cardio. I'm sorry, cardiac. So I was like, I don't need to really focus specifically on cardiac, because I get no cardiac questions. So I was just like, let me just do the broad subjects, because that's how the test is going to be, broad, very broad. It's not going to be all cardiac, or it could, but I mean, more than likely it's not. So I didn't focus on the specifics. I just focused on the broad topics, and I was like, I'm going to go through all these different broad topics. And so I started off doing 40 questions, and then towards the middle end, stuff started to hit the fan. I started to get real nervous, and I would do 75. And so I went through all the topics with 75, and I went back through them again twice. And so yes, back to UWorld. I'm sorry. UWorld was very great. I love it. I recommend it. Get it if you can. I think it really helped me a lot. Reading those explanations are keys to success. Major key alert. I don't know why I clap my hands, but major key alert. Major key alert. Read the explanations, digest it, get it into your memory, into your system, because those explanations will literally help you answer other questions, because you'll be like, oh, this explained this so well, like now I get it, now I understand it. Now you can take that knowledge and answer other questions that are kind of like it, or asking about the same like information. So I know a lot of people like would write down the explanations so they could like go back and read it and study it. But honey, let me tell you, I wasn't about to do all that. I was not about to do all that. I was too much work and too much writing, and the reality of it, I was not going to go back and read it. So I was like, let me just not even waste my time. I just would read the explanations outright and move on, because I was like, I have this whole book to read. Like, I'm not going to be able to go back and read all these explanations for all these 1,000,000,001 questions that I did. Like, I was not about to do that. So I didn't, but I know a lot of people that did, and that helped them. Great. And if it helps you, great, do it. I just know I had too much to do, and I was like, I'm gonna run out of time. I'm not gonna be able to get it all done. I'm just not gonna be able to get it all done. There's not enough hours in the day, there's not enough days in the week, there's not enough days in the month, and I just didn't have time to do it. So I didn't do that. But definitely that's why I said it took me like 3-4 hours to go through a test, because I was really reading the explanations and really trying to understand it, and really getting it into my memory, and to like just basically really understanding it. So that's what I did. UWorld is essential, and like I said, it's an app on your phone, so you can do it anywhere. You could do it in your bed, girl. You could do it when you waiting for, you know, whatever. You could do it in the car if you're not driving. Like, I did it when I went out of town for a funeral. I did UWorld questions. The key is practice, because, you know, practice makes perfect. So practice, practice, practice. Do practice questions. I don't think, for me, I know I could not just solely rely on questions. I just knew, like, in my heart of hearts and in my soul of soul, like, I could not solely rely on just doing questions. I was like, I'm the type of person, like, I need to read information. I need to read it and gather it, and that's how I need to do it. So I knew, like, I actually needed to read content or review content and not just do practice questions. But I know some people, they just did practice questions and they was okie dokie fine. And I know some people that just read, and no, I don't. Let me not lie. I don't know anybody that just read, but maybe because I just hadn't asked the right people, but I don't know anybody that just read. But I was thinking, I was like, I didn't know how to come in to prepare for this. I was like, do I just read? Do I just do questions? Like, which one do I do? But I decided to do both, and I think that's a good idea, and it worked for me. Hopefully it'll work for you if you decide that, or whichever method you decide, hopefully that'll work for you. So yes, UWorld, great, amazing, amazing. Like I said, I don't know how they're getting away with highway robbery by like snatching the Nclex's twin sister, honey. But they're doing it, and you should do it too, so you could be fully prepared and know what you're walking into. Like I said, they give you lots of select all that apply, which is the key. But I'm just gonna let you, okay, we're gonna talk about select all that apply, honey, but they give you lots of those. So now we're about to get into it. We're about to get into it. So weeks prior to my test day, which is January 31st, you know, every single day, I kid you not, every single day I would get on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and I would see my classmates passing the Nclex every day. I like, do not get me wrong, I'm so happy for my friends and my classmates. We all worked so hard. We're all very smart and intelligent people, and we all deserve to pass. Don't get me wrong, I was so happy for them. I'm so happy for them. I would never be a hater. I was so happy for them, happy for each and every single one of them, because I know how hard they worked. I know how smart and awesome nurses that they are and are going to be. So I'm so happy for them. But you know, being human, you can't help but be like, oh, when is it gonna be my turn? Like, oh, I hope that's me. I hope I'm the one that gets to post a cute, happy, nice post about passing and becoming a nurse. Like, I hope it's me. Like, when is it gonna be my turn? When is it gonna be me? So, you know, I would be like feeling a little bit defeated and getting a little bit anxious and a little bit stressed and pressure and anxiety. So I was like, girl, I think you need to stop coming on social media, because it's gonna get to your head. But who am I kidding? I live for social media. So I was like, because that would be my little study break away from the books. I'll go on social media and have me a good old time and a good old laugh. So I was like, nah. So I would still go on social media and still see their posts legitimately every single day. I was like, ugh. But you know, it was great for them, happy for them. And I was like, I know it's gonna be my time, honey. Let me get my post together. So now to the tea, the true tea about the Nclex. So the Nclex is literally the weirdest test in the entire world. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I need somebody to explain it to me. I need to ask a couple questions, because it makes no sense. Like, the grading, what is the grading? How do they grade you? We don't know. I don't know. They don't know, honey. They truly don't know. Like, how do they grade you? Like, what is the grade? I was like, what? So I was like, because like our ATI comprehensive, we had to get a 72. And so I was thinking like, oh, okay, you just got to get a 72 on the Nclex. Like, it's like the ATI comprehensive, get a 72, you're good to go. So I was like, okay, I could definitely do that, because I got a 72. I got over a 72, so I was like, okay, I could definitely do that. Then my friend was like, no, you don't. We don't know what grade they need. They just cut you off. You're competent. And I was like, excuse me, say what? I was like, that's not gonna work for me. Okay, I need to know what I need to get so I can structure and get my mind and my spirit aligned for success. But they're like, the gag's on you, girl. No. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I needed to get some research and get some tea and get some information on what they was looking for. Like, how am I gonna pass this test? Like, what are you looking for? If I don't know what goal to reach, how am I gonna get there? So the Saunders book gave you some information. It still ain't saying nothing, but it's saying something. So I'm coming to y'all with the receipts and the tea and the facts of what the Nclex is doing, because we just don't know what she's doing, honey. She doesn't know what she's doing. Is this it? Hold up. Okay, so this is what it is. I'm coming to you live and direct, live and in color with the facts and the tea, honey. This is what the Nclex says. So the minimum number of questions that you need, I feel like bad just reading down, but the minimum number of questions that you will need to answer is 75. Of these 75 questions, 60 will be operational, scored, and 15 will be pre-test, unscored questions. The maximum number of questions in the test is 265. 15 of the total number of questions that you need to answer will be pre-test questions. Okay, blah blah blah. So they only are scoring off of 60 questions. Dang, that cuts down your numbers bad. I don't know if I knew that. I mean, I think I read it, but I don't think I really understood the gravity. Wow, 60 questions. Okay. So this is for pass or fail decisions. This is a lengthy chapter where we have to get into it because y'all need to really know the tea. Y'all need to really know what y'all are up for. So let me get into it. Blah 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 blah. Okay, all examination questions are categorized by test plan, area, and level of difficulty. This is an important point to keep in mind when you consider how the computer makes a pass or fail decision, because a pass or fail decision is not based on a percentage or correctly answered questions. What? Okay, let me read this again because that's just blasphemy. I don't understand. Because a pass or fail decision is not based on a percentage of correctly answered questions. So then what is it? What is it based on? What are we doing? Why are we here? What are we doing? What? Okay, so it indicates that a pass or fail is governed by 3 different scenarios. The first scenario is the 95% confidence interval rule, in which the computer stops administering test questions when it is 95% certain that the test taker's ability is clearly above the passing standard or clearly below the passing standard. So that first scenario is your the computer shuts off at 75, and either shut off at 75 because you passed, you've met that, they're confident in you, or it shuts off at 75 because you failed and they are not confident that you can even continue on and answer more questions. Which I got a bone to pick with you, Nclex folks, because how dare you decide that someone just can't even continue on with more questions? Like, that don't even literally does not make any type of sense. Like, you need to get, because honey, I could go over there and pass this whole test at 100 questions, but you cut me off at 75. I got a whole option of 265. So you're telling me you don't think that I can even get close in 265 questions, that I just stunk so bad in the 75 that I can't even recuperate and recover myself in the 265 questions? That doesn't make any sense. And like, who are you to decide that? Because what? That just doesn't make any sense. Like, give me all the choice, give me all the questions and all the chances to pass, because I don't understand why you would just limit me to 75 because I missed all 60 or whatever the case may be. I could get all the rest of the questions right. Like, I think that's so rude and just not fair, and I'm not understanding who did that and why they did that and who I need to talk to, because I just think that's so rude and disrespectful. And you don't tell me that I passed or failed. You don't decide that, okay? You don't cut me off. I got more chances. Okay, but so that second scenario is known as the maximum length exam, in which the final ability estimate of the test taker is considered. If the final ability estimate is above the passing standard, the test taker passes. If it is below the passing standard, the test taker fails. In English, please. So the third scenario is the run out of time rule. If the examination ends because the test taker ran out of time, the computer may not have enough information with the 95% certainty to make a clear pass or fail decision. If this is the case, the computer will review the test taker's performance during testing. If the test taker has not answered the minimum number of required questions, the test taker fails. If the test taker's ability estimate was consistently above the passing standard on the last 60 questions, the test taker passes. So you mean to tell me I got 265 questions and you're just gonna grade me on the last 60? So what was the point of the other 1,000,001 questions that I did? I'm just not understanding. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. So if the test taker's ability estimate falls below the passing standard even once, even once, the test taker fails. What? What? I'm just at a loss. I'm just at a loss. I'm like, y'all basically setting folks up to fail, because this is not clear. This means nothing. I don't understand it. It's not giving me any information that's helpful, because it's like they have this imaginary floating line of, ooh, you passed, ooh, you're competent, ooh, you did good enough, ooh, you go girl, want a cookie? But it's imaginary, it's floating, because every time you reach out and try to get it and grab it, you can't, because you don't know what it is. like you don't know what it is, so you can't reach out and get it. It's like unattainable. You know, when you're like, oh, I can miss this many questions and I get this grade, or oh, I need a 72% on this. That is attainable. That is something that you can grab. That is something that you can work towards and build towards. But when it's an imaginary floating line, you don't know what you're trying to get. You don't know if you're doing good enough. You don't know. So that's confusing. And I was just like, I read that and I was like, I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. So the day before my Nclex, I decided, I woke up, I was like, oh, Tiffany, you know. Oh, okay, so the weekend before, I was taking 75 question practice test, and a girl was doing good, honey, on the test. I was getting like a 76, 72, so I was doing good. I was feeling real good. I was like, hey, yo, girl, I'm about to pass me. Hey. So I was doing real good. I was like, okay, yes. So Monday I didn't take a practice exam because I was just like, I don't feel like it, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to, I don't feel like it. So I didn't take one, but I was still like studying, finishing up I was done reading, because I finished my book like that Thursday before going into the weekend, where I was doing super good on the practice test. So I finished reading. So I was just kind of like, that day I was kind of like going over, Monday I was just like going over stuff that I thought was important. And stuff that I was like, I have trouble remembering. So I was just going over stuff like that. And so then come Tuesday, the day before my exam, I got up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a practice exam. I've been doing good. Like, let me just go into my test with a real confidence booster, a real high 70-something grade. Okay, so I did it, and I got like the worst grade I ever got, like a 50 or a 55. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my god, like what? Like, it was the craziest thing. I was like, this not okay. Like, I felt defeated. Like, I was like, really? Like, the day before my exam, I'm gonna take a practice test and get a 50 and do bad? Like, that's not passing. Like, I'm not gonna pass if I do that. So I literally had to like calm myself down and like positive self-talk and like talk to God. I was like, I had to be like, Tiffany, like, it's okay. This is not an indication of how you're gonna do on this exam tomorrow. This is not an indication of how smart you are, how intelligent you are, or how hard you've been working. Like, this is not gonna defeat you. It's not gonna bring you down, and this is not an indication of how you're gonna perform tomorrow. So I literally had to like self-talk and fill myself with like positivity in my mind and my spirit and my body with positivity, because I was like, oh, that like really got me down and really got me worried. I was like, oh my god, no. So I had to really build myself back up and be like, okay, just, you know, continue studying, Tiffany, just continue studying. So I was going back over stuff, and I had this Nclex like quick facts whatever sheet, so I was going over that, and I was just studying and just going over stuff, be like, okay. And I didn't do no more practice questions, honey, because I was like, I don't want to see another practice question. So I was doing that, and then I went on a walk that evening, because I had been walking for like a couple days before, just to like relax, clear my mind. I would listen to gospel music, really clear my mind, and like get at peace with myself and encourage myself, and just get outside and feel the fresh air and get those endorphins going, feel good hormones going. So I went on a walk and I listened to music, and I was like just praising God and just really positive talking, self-talking, like, you're gonna pass, you're going to be a nurse, you're going to pass the Nclex tomorrow, you're gonna be great, you're gonna do great. Just really filling myself with positivity and encouragement. So then I like ate dinner and I watched a show with my family after dinner, just to relax, get my mind right. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed early. So I like went to bed at like 10, and bruh, my night was the most delusional, insane night I've had in my entire life. Like, a girl could not go to sleep. I am not even kidding. Like, I took a little melatonin sleep pill to help me sleep, and I legitimately could not go to sleep. Like, I did not sleep. I may have slept a total of 2 hours, not even back to back, like sporadically. I could not sleep. I was like, what? Like, I put on some gospel music low just to, you know, feel like, you know, when you hear a song, you be thinking about that song in your sleep. So I was like, well, I need to hear positivity and God-filled and faith-filled words in my sleep, so that's what my mind will think about. So I did that, but I couldn't sleep with that. It was like, I couldn't sleep with it. I really could not sleep. And then at like maybe 11 or 12, I woke up, because I didn't wake up, I was awake, but I was like, I just started crying because I was like, oh my gosh, like, Tiffany, you have to go to sleep. Like, I have to sleep. Like, I legit have to sleep. So I'm like, I have to sleep. I gotta take this test and I have to sleep. Like, I was so frustrated, like, why can't I sleep? So I just started crying a little bit, and then I tried to go back to sleep, and I just couldn't. I just tossed and turned, couldn't. My mind was racing, just thinking about a billion things, and I just couldn't. So then maybe at like 3 something, I watched a TV show and I watched a YouTube video, and I tried to go back to sleep, and I think I went to sleep for a little bit. But then I had a scary dream, a very scary dream, and I was freaked out. I woke up and I was freaked out, and I really could not go back to sleep after that because it was literally so scary. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, God, like, why is this happening to me the night before my exam? Like, why is this happening? I was like, oh my gosh, the devil is really trying to defeat me. He's really trying to get in my mind. He's really trying to like bring me down right now. Like, he literally is. And I was like, why is this happening? Like, why is this happening the day before, like the night before my exam? Like, what does this mean? Like, what does this mean? I was like, oh, it was literally like horrible. Okay, it was literally like horrible, the worst experience. I was, so I woke up at like 7. Not woke up, I was already awake. I just decided to get myself up. So I got myself up and I like got me some coffee, just a little bit of coffee, because I was like, I need this energy to be able to focus on this exam. So I need this energy to be able to focus on this exam. So I got some coffee. My mom made me some oatmeal that morning. My test was at 10:30, and I need to be there at 10. So I think we left around 9:20 or 9:15. She made me some oatmeal, and I really couldn't eat. Like, when I'm nervous, I really can't eat. My stomach is just like, bleh, rejecting food. So I really couldn't eat, but I was trying to eat because I need something on my, you know, I can't be hungry during the test. So I ate a little bit of bites. And so blah blah blah, we drive, get to the testing center, you know, 30 minutes ahead of time. Cool. My mom prays for me in the car. Love you, bless you, thank you, mommy, you are the best. So she dropped me off, because me, if I have to like take a really big exam, and like if my family can drive me, I really like them to, because I can't deal with traffic, and I can't deal with me not knowing where I'm going, because then I'll start panicking and sweating. I'll be like, no. So I just rather have them drive me, so I can just sit back and listen to my gospel music and calm down and get my mind and my spirit right. So she did that. Love her, thank you. Hey girl, love you, mama. So I got dropped off, cool, went up into the room, and had me give my driver's license, palm, vein scan, whatever. So she gave me the sheet of paper with the rules, and she was like, okay, go sit down and read them. So I was reading them, baby, I was legit shaking. I was legitimately shaking. My hand was like reading, like the paper was flickering. My hand was shaking. This just shaking the table. Okay, comment down below if you know where that's from, because if you do, we are automatically best friends. This bitch is shaking the table. That's how my hand was shaking. That's how my hand was shaking. Like, I was like the paper was shaking. I was like nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is really it, God. Like, this is all we worked for. So then I finished reading, and the guy calls me back. He's like, okay, blah blah blah, do this, blah. So I'm like, okay. So I went in, he logged me on, I was sitting down, I was like going through the little instructions and like practice questions, and I was like, okay, whatever. And like my heart was beating out of my chest. It was crazy. And then I was like, before every test in nursing school, I would stop. Before I started the test, I would stop, I would say a prayer, and then I would do deep breathing in and out, deep breathing. So I did that, and I was like, to try to calm me down, like, try to calm me down. So I did that before I, you know, clicked to start the test. And baby, when I clicked start that test, my carotid was jumping, thumping out of my throat. Like, homegirl wanted to hop out of my throat and fight me. That's how like it was like boom, 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 like out of my throat, going to my heart rate was probably SVT, supraventricular tachycardia. It was in the well over the hundreds. It was booming. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, I was just so nervous. Like, it was just crazy. And honestly, I could not tell you what was happening on that exam. I could not tell you. Even if I wanted to, I could not tell you. I have no single-handed idea. I mean, I was answering the questions to the best of my ability, and I was answering to what I thought was correct, but I was just like, I have no idea. Like, I was like, I have no single idea. It's not that I'm not smart. It's not that I'm not a competent nurse. I kind of gave it away. It's not that I'm not a competent individual. I am competent. I am smart. I graduated nursing school, so clearly I have the goods to succeed. So it's not that I had no earthly idea and I was just like, whatever. No, I was doing, you know, my critical thinking and answering the best of my abilities, for sure. But I still was like, I mean, I think this is the answer. I think this is right. Like, I ain't never heard of this disease. I ain't never heard of this drug. What I'm supposed to do with this? Like, what? What is this? Why are you asking me this? I'm never gonna need to know this. But anyways, so yes, I did not get a whole lot of select apply, au contraire to what people think. I did not. I got like 10 to 20. 20 is the max. I don't even know if I got that many. Select all that apply. And, you know, I kind of had me freaking out because people are like, oh, if you get a lot of select all apply, that means you're doing good. That means you're getting stuff right. Oh. So I was like, oh, I didn't get that many. So what that mean? What that's supposed to mean? So I was like, oh, okay. I got quite a, like 4 like order questions, like put this steps in the correct order. I just got a lot of single one correct answer questions. So I was actually going through the test pretty fast. Not like I wasn't trying to rush. It was just like, either I know the answer or I don't. Like, I can't just sit on this question for 10 minutes. Like, I mean, I'm just, you know, I just can't. But I would read over the question, reread it, read over the answers, keep thinking. But I was just like, okay, like, it is what it is. I think this is it. This is what I got. Click, and I'll go to the next. So I like answered all the questions, all 75 in like an hour and a half, hour 45. I wasn't trying to speed. I was just like, hey, it is what it is. I mean, the answer's not going to come to me. Either I know it or I don't. That's what it is. That's the real reality of it. So and you know, I was trying not to focus on the little like question thing up at the top where it's like, oh, 70 of 70, you know, set like you're on question 70. I was trying to focus on that because I was like, you know, I don't want that to psych me out, because like, it doesn't matter, Tiffany. Like, even if you go past 75, it really doesn't matter, because you still gotta stay focused. You're still in the ball game of passing. You're still you still have a chance to pass. So it doesn't matter. Just do your best and answer the questions to your best ability so that you can pass and succeed. So I was trying to focus on that because I didn't want to get defeated or down if I went past 75, because that's okay. That is a-okay, because that means I still have a chance of passing. They're giving me more chances and more questions to pass, and I know that I would succeed eventually. It didn't have to be at 75, it didn't have to be at 100, didn't have to be at 200, could have been at 265. It didn't matter to me. I was going to continue and go on and do my best. But so I got 75 questions, and that screen went blank. That screen went white, and it was like, boop, said some words, and it was like, oh, you got finished, da 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 da. And you know, I was like, oh, like, I felt kind of like a sigh of relief, but then I was like, oh, I don't, like, did I pass? Did it cut off because I was doing good? And they were like, girl, you competent? We confident in you? Or was it like, girl, you missed all these questions, so you just out of here? So I didn't know, but I mean, I didn't feel like, oh, I failed. I didn't think like, oh, I failed. No, I didn't feel like that. I felt like, oh, I did it. I did the best I could, you know, hopefully we're hope for the best. So then they had these like 20 questions that were, you know, testing questions for the next batch of Nclex, which, ooh, girl, y'all, them questions was hard. Like, what? Them questions was hard. Them questions was hard, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. They was real hard, real delusional, and I feel real bad. Hopefully, because I wasn't really answering them, so I was like, I'm over it. Like, you already snatched 75 questions from my life. I'm not about to give you no more. Like, I wasn't trying. So hopefully people weren't trying and them scores was real bad. So like, oh, this real hard, we can't give that to them. I got y'all, okay? I had y'all back. So I really wasn't answering, and I was like, the audacity of y'all to think that I'm gonna do these practice questions for real. Bye. So blah blah blah, leave, get in the car home. I'm like, oh, like, I feel good, I feel confident. Maybe then 48 hours. Okay, so that night I went to the movies with my brother because I was like, oh, I wanted to go see Scorch Trials or whatever it's called, because I really love that movie. So I went to get my mind off of things, and I just could not stop thinking about the exam, thinking about how I didn't have the money to select all apply, thinking about how fast I took it, thinking about all these things. Like, oh my god, was I right? Like, did I do good? Did I pass? Like, I don't know. And so it was just horrible. That night I really couldn't sleep. It was just literally, I never felt this much anxiety like in my entire life. Like, I felt anxiety for tests and got nervous for things, but I've never felt like this, where it is just so intrusive and you can't think about anything else, and you just can't get a break and get away from it. I've never felt like this a day in my life, and it was absolutely horrible and horrendous. Like, I never want to feel like that again. And so the next morning, that Friday, I was going to a doctor's appointment, just have my regular physical, whatever. So I was telling my doctor about the exam and like how anxious and nervous and like I was feeling and whatever, and so she helped me through that. And like, it was, I really could not do anything. I couldn't sleep good. I really wasn't hungry. I couldn't eat. And it was just like, I'm not even kidding, like, I never felt like this in my life. And I really feel for the people that really suffer from anxiety, like all the time, constant anxiety, because I only dealt with it for 48 hours. They deal with it every day nonstop. Like, my heart goes out to them, because it was really debilitating and really just really devastating on the psyche. But, and so then the next morning came, what was that, one morning? So Wednesday, Thursday, one day, whatever day I got my results, I don't know, I think it was a Friday. I had to go give blood work. So then I was up early because I had to go give blood work. And so then we were eating breakfast, and it was like 10 something, and mom was like, and I was like, oh mom, I can't really eat, like, I'm just not really feeling good, I can't really eat. And then excuse me, so then she was like, oh, she's like, Tiffany, I can't stand to see you like this, like, go get your computer, like, let's just get these results and get it over with and see what it is. So I went, and it wasn't quite 10:30 yet, which you have to wait until your actual like start time of your exam, the scheduled start time, because you start kind of earlier, but the scheduled start time of your exam. So I had to wait till 10:30. So I like put in all my information to charge my credit card. Highway robbery, excuse me, why I'm trying to pay? Why I got to pay to see my results, honey? You know, when I leave this room, if I pass or fail, why make me wait 48 hours, and why make me pay? Anyway, so I put in my information. I waited till like, it was like 10:32 before I like clicked it. And I clicked it, and it said pass. I passed the Nclex in 75 questions on the first try. Yay. Trust me, I wasn't like this. A girl started crying. My mom was dancing. I was crying, because it was just like such a weight lifted off my shoulder. Like, the Nclex puts so much pressure on you, because you may already have a job, you may already have like an apartment lined up, you may already have all these things in place. And it's all riding on the fact that you pass your Nclex. So I had like, all my stuff was already in Houston and in the storage, ready to move in. I already had a job lined up. And it's like, I had all these things and all these pressure and expectations on myself. And it was like, it was a lot of pressure, putting a lot of pressure on myself. And that's not good, and that's not healthy. But it's just human nature. And so, and it's like, I went through nurse school, I went through all this, and it was just so much riding on it. So I just cried and broke down, because I was just crying happy tears of joy that I had passed the Nclex, because it was just such a long journey, and it was just so much hard work, and I was just so happy that it was just finally done and over with. That Nclex was wild. That Nclex is insanity. Insanity. But I'm just here to tell you that the Nclex will not defeat you. The Nclex is not the big bad wolf, okay? It is not impossible. You can do, if I could do it, you definitely can do it. You just have to believe in yourself, because it's not the end of the world. The questions are not impossible. They're not impossible. They're hard. They want you to critically think. They want to make sure that you're going to be a safe, prudent nurse, for sure. But they're not impossible. It's nothing. Okay, they do be asking stuff that you haven't heard, but it's nothing that's going to surprise you. Like, it's going to be hard. Like, nursing school is hard. Like, like ATI or HESI was hard. It's going to be hard. And it is hard. But it's not impossible. It's not going to break you. It's not going to defeat you. It's not going to kill you. You're going to get through it. You're going to succeed. And you're going to pass. And you're going to become a nurse. But don't let other people's journey, hinder your own journey. Because my journey, I passed 75 questions the first time. Great, super thankful for that. But your journey may not be like that. It may take you 2-3 chances of 265 questions or 100 questions or whatever. You may not pass on the first time. You may not pass the 75 questions, or you may pass. But don't let looking at other people's journey, mess with your own. Because sometimes, we just have to go through things. We just have to go through things sometimes. It's not fair and you may not understand it, but we just have to go through things sometimes. So don't get discouraged if it doesn't stop at 75 questions. Don't get discouraged. You're still in the game. Don't get discouraged if you fail, because try again, because you did not graduate and pass nursing school to not pass the Nclex and be a nurse. I know that for a fact, not a shadow of a doubt. You did not go through all of that to not pass the Nclex and be a nurse. It just may not be when you want it to be, or when you think it's going to be, or it may not look at all how you thought it was going to look, or how your friend's journey looked. But it's going to happen for you. You just need to stay encouraged, stay positive, and stay uplifted, and have trust and belief in yourself, because you are smart, you are capable, you are able, and you will be a nurse. Because if it is meant for you, nobody or nothing can take that away from you. The Nclex cannot stop you. The Nclex will not stop you or defeat you, because it cannot. It has no power over you. And honestly, for me, in nursing school and studying and doing practice questions was like 10 to 20% of what helped me pass. But the rest, the 90% or the 80%, was God. I am being completely 1000% honest with you. Majority of me passing the Nclex was God's favor, his grace, and his mercy. Because I'm telling you, I don't know what was going on in that exam. I'm being for real. I was answering the questions that I thought to the best of my ability, but I wasn't certain that that was the correct answer. God was literally, I guess, guiding my hand to the correct answer, putting the answer in my head. And that literally was, that's just the only way I can explain it, because I don't know what was going on. I don't know if I was right. I don't know. But all I know is God has my back always and forever. And I know that this is my destiny. This is my calling. This is the path that he wanted me to walk. So he made it so. That's why I'm like, the Nclex cannot defeat you, because guess what? God has already defeated anything that stops in your way. And nothing can stop you. Do not let the devil get in your head and get you down and defeated, because the devil is a liar. So if your mind is like, oh, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm gonna fail, that's the devil, and all he does is lie. So those are lies. So the opposite is literally going to happen. The opposite is literally going to happen. So just, I don't care who you believe in or what you believe in. All I know is you need to believe in something or somebody higher than yourself, because this Nclex, it's too much for you to handle and face on your own. You really need to just put your trust and faith and belief into something or somebody else that is higher than you, because it's really like out of your control. It really is. You can study all you want, but at the end of the day, I truly believe that, if it's meant for you, is going to be for you, and nothing and nobody can stop that. No Nclex can stop that. No, nobody can stop what's meant for you. So I just want y'all to know that you got this. You are so going to pass the Nclex and become a nurse. And at the end of the day, as long as you're a nurse, you're a nurse. It doesn't matter. Your patient's not going to ask you, oh, how many questions did you pass the Nclex with? Oh, how many chances did it take you? They're not going to ask that. Your job is not going to ask that. Your coworkers shouldn't ask you that, because you know what? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, because hey, we're all nurses. We all got RN at the end of our name. So it really does not matter. And just because you pass in 75 questions and you're quote unquote smart, that doesn't make you a good nurse. There's a lot more to nursing than just knowing the correct answer, knowing this, that, and the third, and this random fact and that random fact. There's a lot more to nursing than that. So that's not going to guarantee you that you're going to be a good nurse. So just as long you're going to pass, you're going to be a nurse, and that is all that matters. So guys, please comment and tell me if you're already taking your Nclex, you're going to be taking it, if you have any questions, you know, just let me know. Just let me know your experience and let me know how yours goes, and just give me praise reports, because I already know that y'all are all going to pass and y'all are all going to be nurses. And you know, I'm just so proud of everybody, because nursing school is super hard. It's not easy. The Nclex is hard. It's not easy, and getting through this is just an accomplishment in itself. So I'm so proud of all of y'all. Y'all are amazing. Y'all make amazing nurses. You're going to do amazing. I have faith and trust and belief in y'all, that y'all will pass the Nclex and you'll become a nurse. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And I cannot wait to make more Nurse Tiff videos for y'all. Please comment down any suggestions that y'all want for Nurse Tiff, or any suggestions for my channel in general. Please let me know. Please talk to me. Please, let's be friends. I don't know what accent this is. It's really trash. But yes, please let me know. Comment, subscribe. Please subscribe, share, get, you know, like, let's just all be friends. Let's just all spread love and positivity. And y'all like my makeup? She cute. She cute or whatever. She cute. But yes, thank you for coming back to my channel and watching this long ass video. I know it's about to be long, but you know, girl, we have real tea to spill today. So, you know, we have real tea to spill. So it's okay that's a little longer. You know, I know y'all like spending time with me. I know I'm fun and cool to hang out with. So I know y'all enjoyed it. Okay, so I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys.